My name is Stephanie Sassman, and I am the portfolio leader for women's health. And I am based out of South San Francisco, but I work in the global Roche organization. And the work that we're doing on women's health really spans across all parts of our company, from the pharma side of the business to the diagnostic side of the business as well. I think what's really fortunate about women's health is it's a topic that is very easy for people to be very passionate about, because everybody knows a woman in their life. And then if they think about, the chance that that woman is not getting true personalized health care or is receiving gaps in her care, they want to lean in and they want to do something about it. And I think, one of the awareness making that we're trying to make everybody understand is really about the long legacy that we have as a company in contributions to women's health. And there's a legacy, and then there's also a really bright future. And so I wasn't even aware when I took on this role about the breadth of the contribution that we had in terms of, over 65 products directly in women's health, many of them diagnostics tests, including over 80% of the tests that a woman would take during pregnancy to protect her health and the babies, which is really more about wellness as well as health. And so, being a woman itself is not a disease, right? But our tests and medicines are about keeping a woman healthy, but then also about supporting her if she does encounter a disease, with a long legacy, obviously, in breast cancer. But also when we think about autoimmune disease that affects 80% women, when we think about, multiple sclerosis, which is also the majority in women, when we think about even like the diabetes care part of the business and the fact that diabetes affects women differently, then there's also that opportunity when we talk about being a company that's bringing forward personalized healthcare. We can't forget about 50% of the population and how we can bring forward more personalized healthcare for women and women-centered approaches, which I think is a huge opportunity for us and an area that we want to drive forward more, and we have an opportunity to really be a leader. I learned about Innolab. Actually, I really remember the precise moment because we had a women's health summit in Basel, and I had the chance to meet Oriana Kraft there, who founded the Fem Technology Summit. And then shortly after that, she had also connected with the Roche Innovation Lab, with the Innolab. And that was when Roche Innolab was helping her host her summit. And then the Innolab team, told me that they want to focus on women's health and that they were already focused on women's health. And to me, it was really a breath of fresh air, that willingness to partner. To what I saw from the Innolab team was a listening and really wanting to understand the challenges that the business was facing, an external focus, and an understanding of the startup world, and an understanding of the different innovations that were coming forward. And I think it's really been a great partnership to be able to work with the Innolab, to link more our efforts that we're doing with Innolab in women's health close to our business, and really be able to amplify, and then through this time period, we had already been working with group communications to launch a campaign called XProject that really focuses on, driving awareness about the inequities women face, but also driving forward action and the systemic change that needs to happen. And so then it was like this really amazing positive collision of bringing forward, this communications efforts, this innovation efforts from Innolab, our women's health strategy efforts from the business, to really be together more powerful and together more focused. And so I've just been so enthusiastic about the partnerships with Innolab. And, I think the number one thing that when I think about Innolab is that the external focus, and I guess it's two things because it's also the listening. I think the magic happens when there's also some connection to our business, right? It can be pushing the boundaries. You know, it doesn't have to be exactly what the business is doing. It should be pushing the boundaries. But I think there's really a magic there because it allows us to broaden our presence. It allows us to bring in additional understanding and learning from innovators in this space. And, you know, particularly when we think about women's health, a lot of the innovation is actually coming from the founders of these startups, which in the women's health space has also been referred to as femtech or female technology. And so these femtech founders, many of them are women, and many of them founded their company on a personal mission because they actually experienced a gap in their health journey or in the health journey of a loved one. And so they were really driven by these gaps to bring forward change in the area that they were working. And so it's deeply personal. It's an area that's been deeply underserved. And I think with the Innolab, it's been able to bring forward a connection into that, to be able to work in the startup ecosystem, to be able to, you know, kind of get a better understanding of what role Roche could play. You know, what can we uniquely bring forward in this space? You know, because we don't have all the answers. And what we need to be doing is listening and then playing our unique role